Amazon is a very well-known company, and they are actually known for their ability to quickly adapt and inspire innovation. And this is what has earned them their way up to the top as a very reputable company. The Amazon effect is a very real concept, and through their successful sales and operations, global sourcing, procurement, e-commerce, and business standards, Amazon is firing on all cylinders to set themselves apart from the rest. Unfortunately, there's always room for improvement, or fortunately for Amazon's um, situation. So, we propose that Amazon, while they are a leader in the industry and a pioneer in many different aspects of their business, they can always be hungry and eager for more to come up with different ways to continue to elevate their business. So they are severely lacking in brick and mortar locations, which is something that affects their ability to offer Prime Now, which is through Whole Foods, to a majority of their customers. These or this should be something that they really do focus on, which is the problem with what they're doing now. So, Prime Now should be offered to more areas, and we propose that Prime Now is implemented in all 475 locations of Whole Foods. So, while Amazon is clearly a leader in innovation and in many different areas, Amazon did actually acquire Whole Foods in 2017, which is when they rolled out Prime Now. Prime Now is offered in about 60 US cities, which is clearly not enough, um, especially by Amazon standards when they are able to reach way more and a larger amount of customers than that. So, it's the goal to expand into all 475 Whole Foods locations. So, control charts help to identify this problem because it highlights the performance and functions of Amazon to show that what their competitors are doing. For instance, through market research, Amazon was able to see that their competitors, the main one being Walmart, who actually tracks 140 million customers weekly, since about 90% of Americans live within 10 miles of this location. So that severely hurts Amazon's presence when they're dealing with a force like that is accessible by many. And right now, with only being in about 60 US cities, um, that's not enough, and definitely not enough by Amazon standards as well, which is why it's proposed that they expand into all 475 locations of Amazon. So, in order to create buy in from stakeholders, it's essential to communicate early and communicate in a way that is going to place value on the purpose and the process of the project improvement plan. Um, and what those benefits might be. So, in this case, it's the bottom line. That's what matters to stakeholders. And the bottom line for this is that implementing Prime Now to all Whole Foods locations is going to create a stronger revenue for Amazon as a whole. You know, they are showing right now a 20% increase year over year in revenue, but just imagine how that might spike even more when you add buy in from the stakeholders and you add, Prime Now in all 475 locations when it's only currently in 60 US cities. So there's a lot of different ways that this can happen, and especially when working with stakeholders, it's just important to be able to engage them and make sure that they feel important and valuable within the project. So as you can see on the figure that's located on the left, you can see that it's broken down into different parts in the interest and the power of those different parts. So Amazon's entire goal is to be the most customer-oriented company to exist, and they're able to fulfill this by fulfilling the imagination and wishes of their customers, which is why you can see that customer loyalty is in the high power and high interest section of the stakeholder grid, because they do have to be fully engaged in order for it to be successful. Amazon will need to make these great efforts to satisfy them, since they are a huge portion of the stakeholders, as well as Jeff Bezos, who is the founder and CEO of Amazon. So, rolling out the new plan has got to appeal to the customers and the community, And then you'll see the investors and board of directors might be a little bit of a challenge, as Amazon does, embark on this new journey of the improvement plan, to create more locations for Prime Now, which is why they must be fully engaged and not overwhelmed with the information, so that it gets lost in translation. So, again, the bottom line is, how is this going to make Amazon money? And the goal is to make them more money. So, again, implementing Amazon Prime Now in all 475 Whole Foods locations should increase the revenue. And that's what has been projected thus far. So, total quality management is a type of methodology that should be used when implementing this process improvement plan, to streamline the process for Amazon Prime Now, so it can be offered to more customers. This type of methodology is used to help highlight success, and shortfalls of Amazon to showcase different opportunities of areas and different potential threats. So, the purpose of a TQM is to look at Amazon in its entirety and not just one section, to ensure that they are excelling across all dimensions of their business, including both products and services. So, Prime Now would be a service in this case, and offering that and expanding into all Whole Foods locations really is the goal, and TQM will help with that. So, Amazon is already obviously pretty careful and intentional with their designs and products of service, which is why they did acquire Whole Foods back in 2017. But their focus really does need to shift into Prime Now to create a larger customer base. It's important to be aware of the design quality of Amazon, to watch the value of their products in the marketplace to help provide strategic planning. So, Amazon will really need to utilize the conformance quality to ensure Prime Now meets the standard of design qualifications. But the quality of Prime Now needs to be measurable in a way that makes it beneficial to the company. So, this is going to be a challenge for Amazon, when they're rolling that out. But when you're looking at the bottom line and understanding that reaching more people creates a larger customer base, you should see an upswing in revenue that should far surpass the 20% year over year. So, as you can see, the SWOT analysis, which is the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of Amazon. Clearly, Amazon's definitely a household name. Many people know of Amazon and what they have to offer, but they do have opportunities just like any other company. Um, and in this case, it's the strategic implementation. So for us, it's going to be implementing Prime Now into all 475 Whole Foods locations, in order to reach more customers and build a better customer base and loyalty. So, the good thing for Amazon right now is that Prime Now is already functioning in some Whole Foods locations. So, expanding into all of the 475 locations of Whole Foods does actually give Amazon a larger reach without drastically changing anything besides adding more employees. This process improvement plan should be implemented fully, and effective within 1 year, since they already know the process of Prime Now, since they're already using it in their Whole Foods locations. So, in order for this communication process to be effective, it needs to be clear and direct. So, obviously, starting off with a kickoff meeting, and then showing a flow chart to show how the business and the operation standards really aren't changing day to day, besides adding more employees, is going to be the goal of the communication plan. So, stakeholders don't want to listen to any fluff or anything that's not important to them. Um, so it's imperative to communicate the bottom line, which is the project is going to make the stakeholders more money. It's going to boost sales for Amazon and also acquire more Prime users and a customer base. So, with it being in all 45 or 475 Whole Foods locations, it will drastically benefit Amazon's already growing revenue. So, a flowchart can help to show this and highlight this, and how the process, again, is not changing from day to day. And that's the nice thing that since it's already taking place in some Whole Foods locations, the operations process won't take on any new resources or processes beyond hiring more employees and training them on the already existing process. So moving forward in the project, information that's communicated through text is going to be informal. That's just really going to update on, a couple day to day tasks. But it's something that, the stakeholders can look at and move on with. And then more formal communication will come through in an email where that they can, stay engaged and really pay attention to what they're being told within that email. So that is the communication plan. The goal again is to expand into all 475 Whole Foods locations to benefit Amazon as a company overall.